Hi, my name is Samantha and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be making our own self-piecing fusible interfacing. Let's get into it. Okay, so I've seen online in videos that there is this interfacing that they sell that already has a grid put on it. You go and you you fuse on all of your scrap pieces and then you fold it and then sew the columns, cut them, and then sew the rows, and then you have like a not quilted, but a piece of fabric from all your little scraps. So I got this at Walmart. It's 906 fusible sheer weight interfacing. So it is the lightest weight that they had. This was like $4. So we're gonna try and make it ourselves. I have this bowl of all of these little pieces from when we did all of the Harry Potter items, and I wanted to use these to make a pocket in the future when I make my second set of robes. I have a whole video of me making my Hogwarts robes. I did get a chance to wear them at Halloween at my part-time job, but then they started to get dirty and then I had to take it off, and then my pin broke and I shouldn't have worn it. It was just a bad idea. But anyways, I want to make another set of robes that are better made. I didn't do the greatest job and I just used what I had. But my goal is to use the leftover fabric as the pockets. And so if I have this already ready to go, then I can have it set aside so that when I'm able to make my robes again, then it is ready to go. So we are going to take this interfacing and we're going to draw a grid, and we're going to lay all the pieces of fabric, fuse them down, and sew it on, and we should have a perfectly pieced, even grid of fabric without having to do a ton of work. That's the goal. We'll see how it turns out. Also, when I was at Walmart, I got two other things. So I'm super excited. I got this remnant piece of, vinyl. And my goal is, I saw this bag online that I wanted to buy, but I did not buy it. It was like, oh God, this stinks. It was like $10, or like cheaper if you bought more, like $8 a piece if you bought 7 of them. And I was like, I can make that. I can make that. We're not going to buy it. So I got this remnant piece for $1.34, and I measured it out at the store, and it is enough. And then I already have in my stash 2 zippers and the handle material. So we're going to use this. So $1.34, and we're going to make a $10 bag. So this will be in another video. We'll see how it turns out. It really smells bad. So I need to like open it up and, I don't know, Lysol wipe it. And then I already started collecting shelf liner for our 600 jar openers for next year. I got everything they had, which is 9 rolls. I'm guessing that I need to collect about 60 rolls total to have enough for the 600 jar opener challenge, some additional jar openers because 600 is not going to cut it for next year. I also want to make some, kits. So these 2 things are in the works. The jar opener video, that'll come out. That's a work in progress through the whole month of February, and it posts at the end of February. And then this video with the vinyl, hoping to make it in the next month. We'll see how that goes. I also need to make the Grinch advent calendar. So those are my like work in progresses right now on the top of the list that I want to get done. I just wanted to let you know what I'm working on, but let's start working on the self-made interfacing grid. Here is the bowl of scraps. So what I need to do is take apart the fusible fleece that's on them, and then some of them are stitched together like these ones. These need to be seam ripped, and we are going to just lay them out on a grid. I think it's best to do it on here so that I can move this around. So that's step 1 before we draw our grid on the interfacing. Here is where we're at so far. So I started with 4x3, which with seam allowance I don't think is big enough. So then I tried 5x4, and obviously the patterns are not mixed well enough yet, but I think this will be a better size. So this is all the pieces just for the interfacing taken off. So now I need to seam rip these guys so I can make them all 4x5, and then we need to make the patterns mix and match. Alrighty, just like with every project, I've changed my mind. So we're going to do 5x5. So let me do a little bit of magic. Much better. Okay, so we've got 5x5. We have an even distribution of all of the patterns, and I kind of played Sudoku with them where I was trying to make it so the same pattern's not in the same column or row. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. And then we have one row in each of them that is the solid black, which is totally fine. All the pieces are about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to make a grid that is 1.5 inches of each square. That is 5 by 5. Okay, so some pros and some cons. So pro, the interfacing was already 15 inches, so that worked out perfectly. Con, drawing the grid is very hard. So I drew the 7.5 quadrants, and then I tried with a pencil to do the 1.5 inches for each spot, but then you can't see it on the other side. So then I did it with Sharpie. So now I'm gonna lay all the pieces on these 2 quadrants and fuse it down and see if this is even working before I waste my time on the other half. All right, so it says to cover with a damp pressed cloth with iron setting set to wool steam, place firmly for 10 seconds. So I'm going to spray the fabric. I've got it laid out here. So this is the one, here's the other. Then the next one, I'll do the black on this row and then do the black on this row. The pencil was really hard to see, but I'm gonna spray it down. I'm gonna use this in between, and then it says wool setting. So on my iron here, I have it on wool, which is medium. So once this gets heated up, we're gonna try it. And I wanna be controlled. That's why I'm doing just small area at a time. Okay, here are the results. So it absolutely did not work on the medium setting. I had to turn it up to high, but look at this. We have full adhesion. We are missing a piece right here in the corner. Okay, let me get that guy sewn back on. I had to do it on high heat, and then I did some steam on the front, and then it says also flip it over and do the steam on the right side. So let me do this one more time, and then we're gonna draw the grid on the other side with the Sharpie and do the other side, and then we can start stitching. I'm really excited, and this stuff is really thin. I think this is gonna work really well. I'm excited. Okie dokie, so we are all adhered. So the next step is the fun part. Now we get to sew. So the purpose of doing this, if you haven't been following up to this point, is that now we are gonna fold over each column, and we are gonna sew all the columns. We're gonna snip all of the connection points, and then we are gonna turn it the other way, and we are gonna sew all of the rows. Then we will have a perfectly even spaced piece that can be used for something else. And that is why we did all the grid lines. So these grid lines are where we're gonna sew. And I'm gonna do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. The Sharpie worked out really well, and it did not do anything to the iron. Let me show you. Iron is perfectly fine. So let me go ahead and get the rows, or the column or row, doesn't matter. Get one way sewn, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll do sew it the other way. Sorry, I'm just excited. Okay, if you're still not understanding the vision, hopefully now you can see it a little better. This is what the back side looks like. I was going all in one direction, and then I flipped it around and did a couple in the other direction, so I don't know if I should have done that. But now I need to snip. I think I snip here at the connectors because I need to do the rows. So let me do that. Before pressing, after pressing. Guys, I cannot even tell you how impressed I am with this project. You know my absolute favorite part of this whole project? I never used a single pin this entire time. That makes me so happy. Now, the back is kind of a hot mess, so when I started doing the rows, I didn't realize that I needed to like nest the seams, so make one go down, one go up. Once I realized that, it was pretty much smooth sailing. Once I got to the sewing part, I got this done so fast. It only took me this long to sew, but it took me this long to prep. But I learned so much from this. Okay, let's talk about shrinkage. Okay, so we started with a piece that was 15 by 15. So this ruler is 15 by 15. And we lost quite a bit. We lost 1, 2, 3.5 inches. So now we are down to about 11.5. So I am not going to use this for the pockets. This wouldn't be a Samantha project if we didn't change our mind about 50 times. I'm thinking maybe make a second panel, or maybe just use this one panel, maybe a redemption pouch to make up for that really crappy pouch I made before. I don't even know where it is, but that pouch we made a couple months back,
Or I could do another panel and then maybe make it into a bag or something. So let me know what you think. I love how I did this like pinstripe in the middle. I wish I wouldn't have put any of the black pieces throughout it and like made the pinstripe more defined, or the pinwheel. I think that's really cool looking. I love how perfect all of the boxes were, and it really wasn't that complicated. Like I just sewed straight lines. I had my sewing machine set up with the needle adjusted all the way to the right, and then I had my what is this, like my magnetic weight just right up against the presser foot. That way it was completely consistent with each row and column. This is a great project to like practice straight lines. Also, this used barely any of the material. I think I spent like $4 on this, and so it's 15 by 3 yards, which is this many inches. So I only used, you know, this much of it, which is this much money. So barely any. I could make this so many more times. Now that I know how to do it, I'm wondering if I wouldn't even need to draw the whole grid. Maybe I just need to draw like definitely the middle. So I drew or cut out 15 by 15, and then I drew those the cross, right, which was 17 or 7.5, and then maybe draw like one more line. So if there was 5 and 5, so one more, maybe I would just need 1, 2, 3 lines and 1, 2, 3 lines, and then I could figure out the rest. I don't know. So this is piecing. Quilting would be if this had stitching on the top. I do not plan to quilt this, so this is just pieced together. But I love how fast, like I had a bowl of scraps at this time today, and now it's this time and I have a done panel. So that makes me so happy. I will definitely do this again. I am not someone who likes piecing or quilting. I would never cut up pieces to do this project. However, these are the box corners from when I make wine bags. So I love that I was able to put these scraps to use. Let me know. Oh, whoa, hold up one more second. So also, remember how I put the pieces on the ruler? That was awesome. I didn't even think about it, but what I was able to do is, since I had the pieces on here and then I had my interfacing laid out, so what I did, I can't really show you with one hand, but when I had the pieces here, I kind of just scooched it off onto the interfacing. So then I just had to like line them up pretty. So this was a great idea to lay my pieces down on the ruler so that then I could move it where I needed to go and then transfer them off. This was a great idea. So successful project, especially after the kind of failure that was the bubble letter project last week. I'm so excited that this project was a success. This is only how far I was expecting to get today. I wasn't expecting to have a completely done product, but I wanted to have the scraps into something that could be made into a product. So let me know what you guys think I should make this into, either using just this piece and a lining, or if we should make another panel and then use the 2 panels to make something. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.